Alright guys, here we're talking about the trailer for the movie Dark Phoenix.
That's interesting. Is it actually just called Dark Phoenix and not like X-Men 8: Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, I would wager
That's strange.
they have enough name recognition and obviousness stuff here going on. They don't really need to.
In the X in Phoenix, they put a circle, so that's how you know it's part of the same
see, there
thing.
it is.
I think we've both heard that this is a, what did you call it, a dumpster fire?
I think I may have said something along those lines.
I'm very excited about this dumpster fire. I feel like we've seen this movie before, potentially, and now it's time to try it again. Everyone loves the first X-Men 2, and I thought that it has good stuff in it, but that they're all kind of good and bad in the same, like 3 kind of goes, and then the X-Men series has been sort of...
There's something about everything since the reboot started where some characters, not all of them, just feel like, oh, it's a parody of X-Men. Like, do you know what I mean? But like
a parody of Bryan Singer's X-Men?
In general, X-Men, but yeah, like when Bryan Singer's X-Men first came out, every character you're like, oh, that's blah blah, and this is blah blah, and not saying like oh, that's Rogue and that's Storm. You're like, okay, that's Halle Berry. That's like they were all like famous ass people that you liked, and in this you have a couple of ones, but it almost feels like if you were watching a movie where they were doing a movie about X-Men, you're like, yeah, they would get Jennifer Lawrence to be in it. They would give like, oh, there's James McAvoy. Like it feels like there's something different about it because you have these like 3 or 4 epic celebrities, and then everyone else, you're like, who the fuck are they?
I was gonna say,
and it doesn't command the same respect as that original X-Men did.
Interesting. I wonder if it's that we are older, or life has
changed. Well, no, but I think it's in a world where you have so many superhero movies, so many Marvel hero movies with these ensemble casts of all name recognizable or epic actors, and then you're like, okay, and Cyclops is some putz I hate.
That guy.
Cool.
Yeah, that guy. It's that guy. What do you mean? No, I know. I think that they've been overshadowed by Marvel in general, and like everyone complains about like you spend too much time building your universe, but like the X-Men series has just been like, I don't know, that character's not in it. Let's put this character in it.
Too many blue guys. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, the Too Many Blue Guys is famous, but even beyond that, in general, they're doing a thing where they just kind of go. I don't know. Well, hey, last movie we kind of foreshadowed all this stuff, and like the new guy's like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm doing this. Just like ignore it, and you're like, what are you talking about?
But the characters themselves feel like cosplay versions of those characters.
In particular, Jennifer Lawrence with her recent decision not to want to be in these movies at all.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck that is pulling into the station, and I'm eagerly waiting on the platform to see what happens.
Let's just check it out. I don't know.
I laughed when Magneto was making all the guns shoot. A man who, with a marvel, like destroyed an entire facility and escaped or whatever. I'm sorry, that's awesome. No, so there's different ways to approach this, right? I've heard a lot of people criticizing it from like the comic book nerd perspective or whatever. I'm coming at it as like a fan of the old cartoon and of the some of the parts of the other previous movies or whatever. I think, to bookend the stuff, before we watch the trailer, it's hard for me to get into it and stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, James McAvoy's in the chair, and he's kind of making his voice sound a little more like Patrick Stewart's, and he's working so hard, and Fassbender's, like, working so hard, and then around them there's just all this stuff happening. And I'm like,
Jennifer
oh, no.
Lawrence's CG blue shitty face is actually a pain in my eyes. It's just so, especially in the scene where it's broad daylight, she's outside like, gee, no, I'm your friend, blue, just fucking horrible. It just takes away from everything. It just
you see the like After Effects composite.
I don't even see the potential of the good in a lot of this. It just seems like a clusterfuck of bad.
Interesting.
I will of course watch this because I watch everything.
I will eagerly eat this pile of shit.
I'm not optimistic at all. Like I feel like this looks like the worst one so far.
Are you taking everything into account? What are we considering?
I'm considering what's on the page. Like
no. I mean, like what are you comparing it to? X-Men Origins Wolverine?
I'm comparing it to every superhero movie made so far. This is one notch below the Green Hornet.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say Green Lantern, which I didn't see, but it's supposed to be hard.
Now, Green Lantern is terrible, but this is on a similar plane for me almost with that. Where like I'm like, okay, it's a mess of visuals aside from the one where like she's like the cosmos are behind you and blah blah. Most of the visuals just look like video game end boss type bullshit.
Wow.
There's a lot of just craziness, a lot of character stuff here that I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be a real rush of a thing. Like this doesn't it doesn't say like Dark Phoenix Part 1. So like I'm
Yeah.
thinking they're going to be putting so much stuff in this movie that also I feel won't even be that long. It'll be like, oh, it's an hour and 40 minutes. You're like, what?
Yeah, you get that sense even just from watching the trailer.
The trailer
Like,
feels like such a cluster.
The number of so I'm like more tolerant, I think, to some of the stuff that you're complaining about, but I agree with you that like the places that the trailer shows you that they go,
Yeah.
and then like later
You can't be there very long.
but like later later they're all captured and have collars on, and what are they taking them to where, like what's going on, right?
To Genosha.
I was gonna say Genosha, but I'm like, that's not it. You'll say the wrong thing, and the nerds on the internet will hate you.
Also true, but for different reasons.
Don't worry, they already hate you. You can't go any lower than there. So that's one of the main complaints. People have said, and I quote, "It's called the Phoenix Saga. You can't knock it out in one film. What's wrong with you?" or whatever.
I think
And,
part of it might just be that I'm really not into the two like main characters. I don't like the person playing Jean. I don't like the person playing Mystique. And I think the combo of the two people that are seemingly going to have like a lot of screen time, not really fitting this part for me, is certainly gonna weigh against the movie.
Interesting.
And then the fact that I think the script is probably poor also hurts the ability to be a good movie. And
Yeah.
then when you add in the effects that I'm not a fan of, it's like, well, what could
What
really
am I
save
here
this?
for?
Not much.
Yeah, because they do with the intro, they frame it up as a conflict between Mystique and
Yeah.
because she's like now she's
Well,
the,
she presumably
she-
from the trailer
she's
makes
the
it seem like
leader.
she dies.
I hope she dies, because then we can put all this arguing
would be
about her to
nice.
bed. That would be perfect. Just kill her off in the. Well, no, but then she's in the space. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't notice her with a collar on, so I'm not sure. Maybe she does die. That would be great, because then we can stop arguing about how bad her makeup is and whether or not she's phoning in her performance in the movies and all that other stuff.
Just the idea that you don't want like CG is amazing. We can do amazing things with CG.
You can make Robert Downey Jr.
But
look
the idea that
21.
you just don't want us to paint you blue is ridiculous when you take on a blue character. Like,
you know, I haven't
I
kept up
understand
with
there's a
that
level
or,
of how
or, like,
rich you
verified
are.
the story, but
well,
yeah.
just looking at it, if that's not the case, what is? Like,
I
there's
heard
no
that a long
excuse.
time ago, yeah. But at a
And even
certain
in the
point,
last movie, how she spent almost no time in blue,
I know.
it kind of stands to reason that she's waning that out of the system. Bitch, do you know who I am? I'm Jennifer fucking Lawrence. I'm rich. I'm
wouldn't-
famous.
I
I'm a
would-
draw. I don't need your bullshit. Don't blue me.
I wouldn't want to be blue.
I would not want to be blue,
I know.
but if you offered me that one of these amazing, like
No,
life-changing movies,
I would be
to
blue.
be blue, I wouldn't take the job, assuming I wouldn't be blue.
No, and I wouldn't say, listen, it's been 5 years. The world has changed. I'm not blue anymore. All right. Getting back to the whole deal, I like where she's like doing stuff to Magneto's helmet and stuff like that. What else? There's some stuff. I feel like
What else? That's
there's nothing. That's really it. No, because like we're saying here, and I am not a comic book nerd, but I feel like what was set up, this So I think that like the people who make this feel like we set this up. Don't you all remember that the paint was peeling back in the mansion because she was having nightmares or whatever? Like this has all been set up, right? But then we get this like very bog standard, comic book plot where someone shows up and says, "You don't need them. You're more powerful than all of them. You should do your own thing with me in space. You have these powers. We need to awaken your right? That whole fucking thing,
Yeah.
which is by itself not a problem. Plenty of plots have that, and it's fine. But they're trying to tap into the Phoenix Saga thing, which I feel like might have be trying to put too much in or something like that.
Nah, it's all a problem. Fuck this movie.
It's all a problem.
Beast looks 9,000 times better than she does.
Yeah.
And that, that
yeah.
sickens me.
I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but as you were saying how bad she looked, the trailer that we have looping behind us here shows Beast like in the rain.
Yeah, because he's actually in the rain with actual hair and his skin's actually blue.
No, and I'm like, good thing there's not another blue character to show off what it would look like if you actually spent however many hours in makeup.
Nightcrawler's also in this trailer.
Oh.
And you're like, come on, man.
See, there's too many blue characters, so I couldn't tell them apart. I did not notice Nightcrawler. That's obviously Nightcrawler. All right. Chicka-chicka.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to this. You can't wait. You're going to be there opening night. You're going to see this. You're going to be shouting at the screen. It's
Without
gonna
a
be great.
doubt.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll see any X-Men movie, so it's fine.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's our thoughts on this trailer. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.